everyone, it's Miss Goldman. We are here for our 10th lesson of Eureka Module 7. As you know, our live lessons are happening at 11 o'clock, so if you missed the lesson, that's probably why you're here. But I hope to see you there tomorrow because I really do miss your face, and then you'll be able to ask more questions about this lesson and or the next lesson. And as always, if you are printing out these lessons, please print them out lesson by lesson, as school is getting closer to the end and we may not finish this module as we have some fun activities coming for us to be doing. And as always, if you need to do these on paper, that is fine. Just make sure you are sending me the work so that you can get credit for it. You can do that through Google Classroom, ClassDojo, email, or you can even do it out on paper and then type in your answers or show the work. You can even add pictures to your Google Doc to submit it. And as always, if I'm going too fast and you don't have enough time to finish answering it, that's all right. Just press pause, or you can always rewatch this too. So let's get started. So first, what we're going to do is use a 2-inch square to answer the questions below. You're going to first then trace the square in the space with a red crayon. Then I already skipped to the bottom part because it's going to make more sense later. You're going to color the inside of the square blue. So if you're doing it on the computer, that's fine. And then the outside, so the outside is red and the inside is blue. So take your time doing that. All right, I'm going to move on because I think this was probably easy for us to do. So here you can see there's my blue square with a red outline. Now, as you can see, I kind of gave you the next steps to try to show you what you're going to be doing. And the steps that we're going to be focusing for this one are this. So you're going to you start off with your square first. Then what you're going to do is trace a line and kind of cut out one side of it, and then tape it onto the opposite side. So you can see this edge actually got moved over here. Then you're going to take this another side, a bottom or top, it doesn't matter, this one, and you're going to now tape it to the bottom of here. I know this kind of looks kind of weird, and then you have your new shape. And then you're just going to trace your new shape. These are called tessellations. I know it's really hard to do a tessellation this way on a computer, but take your time. And then what you're going to do is, so once you have this shape, you're going to outline it in red and color the inside in blue. If you don't color it in red, outline in red, that's all right, but it will help you. And if you don't have red and blue crayons, if you're doing this out on paper, that's all right. You can do 2 other colors. If you are doing this on the computer, as you know, you can just change the color fill. And as you can see, we're showing these tessellations, which is these pictures down here. If you look, it's a puzzle piece. So one piece fits into the other. So I'm going to go on now to show you what I did. So here you can see my shape. It's blue and I outlined it in red. As you can see from this, I actually cut it and I stuck it on here. So now we're going to move on to the next one. So now what you're going to do is you're going to compare the first 2 shapes, that square and your new shape, to see what shape has the greater perimeter. So which one has a bigger border, and you're going to tell me how you know. One of the things you could do is if you have a piece of string, you can use that and go around the border with the string and try to figure out which one is bigger. If you have a pipe cleaner, you could do that too. You could also use a shoelace if you could use a cord. And something to help you trace it, to figure out which is bigger. You could even, if you want to use a ruler. It depends on what you have and what materials you can use. But you don't need exact measurements either. You just need to tell me which one is bigger. You might even know just by looking. All right, and we're going to be going over the answer now. So as you can see, I drew out my two pictures originally and I stuck them here. So I said my new shape has a greater perimeter. I know this because I am adding onto the other side of the square and by placing it on the other side. So the measurements also increased. So because I moved some shapes around, some pieces around, and you didn't have to do the top and the bottom, you could have just done one. As you can see, I only did one part, that's fine. The piece is actually a little bit bigger than a normal size square. So let's move on. So now you're gonna tell me which color represents the perimeter of the shape and how do you know? I'm hoping you can figure out that with the hint that I just gave you of which color represents the perimeter. The perimeter, if you did not use follow the directions of the first two, where it said to outline in red and to color inside blue. If you use two different colors, what you're going to do is tell me, well, I can't really tell you right now, but I'm hoping you can figure it out from the hint that I gave you with how I highlighted this for you. But if you're still not sure, this color. All right, we're going to go over the answer now. So we can say red represents the perimeters because I traced the shape with red and the outside of the shape is the perimeter, also the border. All right, so let's go on to the next problem. What does the other color represent? How do you know? And then you're going to tell me which shape has a greater area. How do you know? Now I put two questions here because you're just telling me now the other color. For most of you, it was probably this color. If you followed what I did, unless you changed it. And then you're going to tell me which shape has a greater area. Now remember, area is different than perimeter. Area is the inside of a shape. So remember, area, even in this weird shape, is in here. All right, so we're going to go over the answers now. So I said blue represents the area because it shows how much space and the shape takes up. So I said neither shape has a greater area. They are the same areas. Even though the shapes are different, the second one started off as a square and the area did not change. So I may have moved part of the shape around, but it did not change, although the perimeter did change. You could think about that even as, think about like if you want a glass of water or a cup or a bowl. They might hold the same amount. You can still probably hold the same amount, but how much it holds is not going to change, only how big or small it is, as long as you put in the same amount of liquid. That kind of goes too with the fractions that we did when we compared. So now what you're going to do is outline the perimeter of the shapes below. It says with the red crayon, if you're doing it on here, just outline in red like you've seen me do, and then explain how you know you outline the perimeter of the shapes above, and then outline the perimeter of this piece of paper with a highlighter. So again, if you're printing these out, you can do it with a crayon, or and if you don't have a highlighter, you can use a yellow crayon. If you're doing it on the computer, just take the yellow coloring tool and outline this shape, your document. So take your time to do that. I know there again I gave you 3 questions, but these are the last questions for this lesson. All right, and I'm going to go over the answer now. So as you can see, again, I highlighted in red. They wrote, I know I outlined the perimeter of the shapes because I colored the boundary of each shape, and the boundary of each shape is the perimeter. It's the outside. And like I said before, you could just do the whole outside of your screen with yellow if you have it. So as you can see, I did it in yellow. So like I said, these were the last problems for today, for this lesson. If you needed any help or you're stuck, just let me know. And if you're able to come into our live lesson tomorrow, you can ask me questions about this then too. As always, our live lessons are happening at 11 o'clock during the school week, as long as we have school and it's not a school vacation day or teacher PD day. As you know, those days are extra vacation days for you, but it's also time when you can do some makeup work and you can do extra work and get ahead. As always, stay smart, go for the gold, be safe. I miss you, and I hope to see you live because I miss seeing your face and hearing your voice. Bye.